What's poppin', everybody? Welcome to our second floppy drop of the week. We're flopping. We're double floppy. We're deuce floppy drops. Double D. We're double floppy. We're flopping squared. I don't know. It's the second one of the week. That's all that matters. As always, I've got my main man, the Drewski, here with me. What's up, brother? How are you?
Hey, I'm doing all right, man. It is hot as shit here in the Midwest.
Yes.
It's the weirdest thing. So in my office, it is between like 60 to 65 degrees, all throughout the office. So I've got I've got my Hawaiian shirts, but I've got a thermal shirts on underneath them, to stay cool.
Right.
And so they walk outside, it's like whoosh, just humidity, the heat. It's like, oh God, I'm back in reality. Damn, I want to be back inside.
Yeah, it's been pretty. It's been not as hot as it could be for us, but it's been insanely humid. Because we keep getting rain with it still sunny outside. So you'll have the sun outshining, it'll rain for like 20, 30 minutes, and then you just feel like you're walking through a sauna. You're just like trying to breathe this nasty, humid air. So no bueno. I feel you there. Heat is not my favorite thing. But yeah, and then look, I know a lot of people love summer. Summer is not my season. I'm like, ooh, gross. Keep me in the AC. Keep me in the shadows.
Fall is my time of the year. September,
Same.
October, that's my time.
Hell yeah, I am right there with you on that one. So we got to look. I'm trying not to like show my full excitement with this, but we have some fun stuff to talk about, as well as an announcement that came out today that I'm hyped for. But before we do that, I do want to take a little gander over to a little site called Kickstarter, because Drewski, you still have Unholy Nightmare #2 going on, and there's how many days left?
9 days. So
9.
We are ending, I believe, next Sunday at 7:00 p.m. Central Time and 8 p.m. Eastern Time, I believe. So I talked to. We're going to be having a final closeout stream on Wes's channel. I'm thinking Critical on Sunday.
Sweet.
Yep.
Hell yeah.
So that'd be fun. But hey, I mean, look, 9 days to go, but it doesn't mean like, okay, we met our goal, which is great, but still, we want to be able to produce, the upcoming issues. So any additional income that comes in is going toward issue 3 and 4 and whatever convention exclusives we want to do. So that's the goal, to keep making money. It's not like we're pocketing it. It's going to keep going into the projects. So, if you guys know friends, people, know stores who would be interested in this book or the Golem, which I just read again the other day, tell them to jump in on this, guys, because these books will really stand out from a lot of other stuff on the shelf at stores.
Agreed. Yeah, the good thing is you've got like what, 12, 13 issues written?
13, so far, yeah.
And then the more you can get in, the more it kind of gives Aurelio the free time to jump in and just keep working, and again, like you said, do those extra covers, all that. So a lot of good opportunities there. So if you haven't backed it, go back it. If you were debating on getting a cover but haven't gotten one, and you're like, yeah, I think I want to, go back it. Again, you've got a lot of great covers within this. So you got the JC. I'm going to kind of run through them real quick, but you get the JC Grande cover, which you can see is the Platt homage.
Yep.
Platt. Yeah. And Isaac Bell, you got the rawr cover there.
Sexy Jenny. Yep.
Rawr. I prefer the rawr. I don't. Mine doesn't sound sexy though. So, and this is Mangum, correct?
Yep. That's the Andrew Mangum cover. And Dan Kemp, he colored it and did a lot of the colors for a lot of the covers too.
Hell yeah. And then just additional covers. This is Aurelio's cover, which is a nice kind of introduction to the team. A lot of these characters you get introduced to in the second issue, so you'll want to check it out. Let's keep going. This is still just one of my absolute favorites. Like, I love the throwback of this.
And so Frank Uzen, he's going to be at Fan Expo Denver this weekend, He's going to have that original art at
Oh,
Denver,
what the, like selling it or?
selling it. Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty awesome. Okay, you shouldn't have said anything. It's like crap. Yeah, I think I love this throwback. We've talked about EC Comics before, and this kind of throwback to that their books, and I think it's really awesome and very fitting for this book. So, but yeah, you have the regular version and then the bloody version. So
Mhm.
a lot of fun there. And yeah, I think the final cover is TriStar's cover.
TriStar.
Yep.
Yep. We got a nice and a naughty one of that.
Heck yes. And then that's the naughty. I guess that's also a cover. Um, we're just gonna keep doing that throughout the stream. And then of course we did mention like you can see there's so many options here for backing. But the Gollum cover for that backup issue, Chef's kiss. Yeah. So if you haven't backed it, what are you waiting for? Go back in Holy Nightmare #2. Get the Gollum add-on while you're at it. And maybe you already backed it, but you, like I said earlier, there's a cover you keep thinking about that you didn't get. Go get it. That's all I can say. But excited to see what these little more than a week, how things go for the remainder of this, and to see where we end up, and then get in people's hands, later this year. So it'll be a lot of fun. But,
Yeah, and actually, it won't be too long. I mean, it'll be. Yeah, we're hoping. I mean, it'll be October at the latest, but that's if the fit hits the sham printing wise. But there's no reason why this shouldn't be going out like August timeframe.
For sure. Real quick, Ezekiel coming in with Back Drew and got the Gollum too. Boom. That's what it's about.
Yep. Thank you.
Absolutely. And then I shared on Twitter as well. So if any of you are on or X, pardon me. So if any of you guys are out there on that side of things, go check it out. But and back it. But yes, we also got a really fun announcement today, Drew.
Yes, we did. It was one of those where we've been waiting for it. Like when's this gonna tap and when's this gonna take place? Because this was an announcement that it could have gone either way. And
Yep.
I did not have high hopes for it, honestly, because the luck we've been given with a lot of series is just like coming soon. Riley Rossmo and Leah Williams on Transformers from Skybound.
Oh my God! Can you imagine? Can you imagine? Oh God! Oh, suddenly all the Transformers are gay. Hey, because Leah Williams is writing. Yeah. So we talked about Transformers Tuesday and about kind of like what we were curious. Pretty much what you said. We're curious to see who was going to take over, what was going to happen, and we got that announcement today. And man, have I seen a lot of excitement for this. But
how could you not be?
I know. A new creative team taking over with issue number 25 is Robert Kirkman writing with Dan Mora on art. Holy moly. Yeah. I mean, look, there are things when you think about it, you're like, okay, best case scenario. This wasn't even in my wheelhouse because I was pretty confident Dan Mora was exclusive, so maybe that contract is ended. So
you think about all the books he's doing, and then it's like, and Transformers.
Yep, it was like I get to do this too. But yeah, freaking Kirkman and Mora coming in to do Transformers, and I am so hyped. Because I think we kept looking at it as no matter what, it's going to be a step down. But if it's these certain people, then it could still be really good. And then this got announced, and we're like, holy shit, this might actually even be better.
Yeah, it has the makings of being better. And because Robert Kirkman, love him or hate him, he's been a solid writer most of his career. And I have nothing but the utmost faith in his skills for this story. In Void Rivals, it's an interesting series. It's okay. It's good. It's one of those things where it's dipping its toes into Transformers, kind of, sort of, tangentially, but they have its own characters. But I think that was kind of like his warm up for Transformers, and I'm all for it. And Dan, I don't know if you're going to show some of the interior pages of Dan Moore. Oh God. Optimus has never looked better on page. That is
Yeah,
insane.
it's really good. And then like it very much looks like Dan Moore art, but it still looks like it's a nice continuation from what we've been getting from Daniel Warren Johnson and Jorge Corona. But I just it's great. Like all of this looks fantastic, and
Damn,
they
they look
capture
amazing.
yeah. It still captures like the heart that like you can still feel the same heart that we've been getting from this story.
Yeah.
So I'm super excited. I was skipping pages there. They loaded incorrectly. Whoops. But
If he can nail the action sequences like
yes,
Jorge and Warren have, then we've got a winner here. I mean, don't get me wrong. Everyone looks great, but let's see what he can do with the action.
yeah, agreed, agreed. I mean, Dan Moore has always been able to deliver action,
Yeah,
but I do think when you have characters kind of structured like the Transformers, where they're more blocky, it can be a
yeah,
little more difficult.
it can.
Um,
But people got to understand Transformers. I mean, it's Rock'em Sock'em Robots. You know, that's
oh
what they
yeah,
are, and that's what I want to see. That's what we want. That's what we all want to see. And I'm very much looking forward to this. I can't wait. And I'm sure San Diego Comic Con is going to have some exclusives for this. They got to.
oh yeah,
It's yeah.
absolutely. Yeah, I'm stoked. You're stoked. I do want to go to the comments real quick and just kind of see. Let me get this to. I'm going to keep it up, but I'll pull it back up to the cover.
David
And
Nakayama
then,
cover. Love it.
yeah. Let's see.
It's great to see him. Look, don't get me wrong. I love sexy lady covers, but it's great to see David Nakayama expanding beyond just pinup covers.
Oh,
And
for sure.
it's like, oh shit, he can do Transformers. Fuck yes. All right.
Well, and this is a great like. It's not clearly not a number one, but it's the new start of a new arc with a new team. This is a
Yeah.
great cover for that too, so it works. Just coming through real quick, we do have Cage and Corey here with Evening. What's up, sir? How are you? We've got Kaiser Jose. Sup, nerds? What's up, Kaiser? And he says, who's excited for Kirkman and Mora on Transformers? I know I am. It's giving me issue number one vibes. Exactly.
That's what
And
they're
guess
trying to
what? They're not doing an issue number one. They're sticking with the numbering. So thank God.
do. Yes.
You know, yeah, sure, they get a quick cash grab of doing number ones, but I'm glad they're keeping the run going. I hate what Marvel and DC are doing with the every time we get a new creative team, we're gonna do a number one.
Or better yet, the same creative team, but a new number
God.
one.
Yes, we were talking about you, Steve Orlando. Yep, gifted 5 memberships. Kudos to anyone that got it. We got member stuff that's launching Sunday. We're talking about the heat, and Corey try working in a factory in the South, Drew.
I have, Cajun.
Yeah.
When I was stationed at Eglin Air Force Base in Florida, which is in the Panhandle and on the Gulf, I worked in a warehouse down there that had no air conditioning. So we had the company, Big Ass Fans. They provided their huge fans for us to use in the warehouses. So Panhandle, Florida, in the summer, no AC in a factory, in a warehouse. It gets fucking hot.
Oh yeah, my dad owned oil lubes like for cars when I was growing up. So of course, when we were growing up, that it was no question we were working there. But during like the peak of the summer, we would have those giant warehouse fans there too at the end of the bay to just kind of try to keep us cool. And I just remember being like, spread eagle. Yeah. We do have
It's also in when I was in Baghdad, we get up to 120 degrees every day.
Oh hell yeah!
We're in the tents. But the AC went out, got up to 140 degrees. So yeah, I'm all too familiar with that.
That would be the worst because it just smells. Like you're miserable because you're hot and you can't do anything about it, and then everyone's just gonna reek. Like
people were outside. People were trying to sleep outside of the tents because it was the middle of the day because it's so damn hot. That's just.
Oh, I believe it. I mean, but it's got to be cooler, Like, well, I guess if you're in direct sunlight, maybe not. But regardless, it sucks, and I'm glad I'm here and not there. Ezekiel coming in with, "Hey guys, what's up, brother?" We do have a question for you real quick, Drew. Is Aftermath not a Kickstarter book?
It is, when I talked to Spencer, who is publisher, it's going to be there. It hasn't launched yet. I think think he's going to be launching it. I think later this year, maybe around August, September timeframe. He's going to be launching it on Kickstarter. He was trying to figure out when to do it because he's in Canada, and there's different restrictions and such, and he's just he had a lot of issues figuring out what to do. So I think he finally got it all figured out.
Yep. So yeah, keep your eye. Well, Kaiser, you've got did they have the full issue at Dallas, or was it a teaser at Dallas?
Oh, it's a full issue. It's full issue.
Okay. So Kaiser, you've got the full issue with the Dallas cover for sure. But yeah, man, keep an eye out. Whenever they do decide what they're going to do with it, we'll definitely be announcing it here. So you'll always hear it here for sure. All right, getting into the Transformers of it all, we've got Salty Traveling Sea coming in with boom. Salty, you'll have to let us know if this is what you're expecting, because I know we were kind of teasing this on Tuesday. But yeah, I'm glad you're excited. I'm excited. And Ezekiel's coming in with Transformers creative team is awesome. Hell yes, agreed. And then he said, why hasn't DC locked Mora down exclusively? So he was under an exclusive contract. So it's either ended or Dan may have found a way to negotiate something. Yeah. A lot of times too, what'll happen is like these creators, if they go somewhere else and go work on an independent book, they'll tend to make more money doing this than they were Batman, Justice League, whatever they might be doing, which sounds crazy, but it's the reality.
Yeah, and granted, a lot of times from my experience working with IPs, you got to deal with the rights holders. So there's going to be, I guarantee you, with Dan, it may have been. I don't know how long he's been working on it. We don't know, but I guarantee you, it may have been frustrating at times. Probably having to send art and get notes back, fix this, fix that, fix this, and it can be, it's annoying, especially depending on when you get the notes in the process of your art. But honestly, I can't see the rights holders being nothing but ecstatic when they see this art.
Yeah. Oh, agreed. Salty Traveling Sea says it has the making of resetting the cinematic and streaming universe. Agreed. And he put Void Rivals as a deeper cut. Yes. Yeah, and this is what I love. This is giving me Nerdwood. Yeah. I'm bricked up. But yeah, no, I think it's awesome. And then let's see what else we have. Oh yeah, this is a good point. This art does look and feel a little more 80s than kind of what Daniel Warren Johnson or Jorge Corona were doing.
Yes, so, it's got the old school vibes.
Yeah,
and I'm 100% behind that. I love it.
Yeah, it's just freaking fantastic. I'm super stoked.
Because we gotta be honest, look, it is an 80s property. G.I. Joe is an 80s property, and hey, why not stick with those original aesthetics?
Yeah. Jamie D coming in with a rock on. Agreed, brother. Rock on. And then Kaiser Jose coming in with a wow, thanks, referring to shoot, why can't I think of the name of the book?
Aftermath?
Now. Yes.
No, I hope you enjoyed it, Kaiser. I really hope you did.
Yeah, Kaiser, let us know what you thought about it. Writing, art, it's just a banger.
I guarantee you, Kaiser, it's probably one of the most beautiful books you'd have probably read through. Guarantee it.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, so clearly we are super stoked for this. I cannot wait. It cannot come. I mean, look, I don't want to rush, what we have left from Daniel Warren Johnson, but God, it's not. It feels good to have something in the comics industry that you're just excited for. Yeah, and it's crazy because I think when Transformers 1 was coming out, I think we all kind of thought it was a lightning in the bottle type of moment, and then they're doing it again 2 years later with the same title, and I'm like, good job. Now,
good for them. They know what they're doing. They know what the audience wants, and they're keeping that going. And this could have fallen flat on its face. But
100%.
Yeah.
Those guys over there that are working on and managing the Energon books, like they're knocking it out of the park. We've only had one misstep so far. I mean, as far as titles themselves go. So yeah, no complaints here from this guy. But So Salty Traveling Sea put this was on TV after show. I'm not really sure what. Not fully sure how you're starting your sentence there, but in the 80s, along with Thundercats, giving this to kids now, intact and without agenda is huge. Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. It's the fact that we're getting this without an agenda. After school, gotcha. Yeah, the fact that we're getting this without an agenda, I think, is the big surprise. Because I think we had hoped for the best, but even with Daniel Warren Johnson writing when this launched, it was still kind of questionable because he was kind of showing signs of oh no.
Yeah, the
On social
Carly
media.
character specifically, and it's like, I don't know about this,
Right.
but
yeah,
it just shows me, all right, quality control, we got it. Things are it's going to be where they were, if not better. So yeah, this is exciting.
Indeed. We got Zax in the house. What's up, Zaxy? How's it going, shoulders? Nice to see you here. I gotta go back and finish watching y'all stream from last night. I caught a little bit and then passed out. So whoops. But yeah. And and then Jamin D's calling me out. He goes, "There's definitely an agenda. What are you talking about? The agenda is fun. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. And badass and awesome. So but I'm okay with those agendas, Drew.
Yeah. When the agenda is having fun, and letting the audience have fun, yeah, I'm all for that.
Absolutely. Well, with that fun announcement out of the way, we are going to go ahead and look to this week's comics because we had quite a few books come out this week. And then some good stuff, some not so good stuff. But we're kind of talking. There was a decent amount of just quality books without like knocking our pants off, right? Like nothing.
Nothing blew up my skirt.
Yep.
Like Marilyn Monroe. It just there was some good stuff, solid good stuff, but nothing great. And there's of course naturally there were some that were just like boring as shit. Like there were a lot of boring comics this week. Yeah. Very very boring, very horribly paced comics.
Yes. We are gonna at least start with the good stuff and kind of go that route first. Do you want to start with Huck? Is that cool?
Yeah, we can talk about Huck.
We can talk about Huck. So let me get this pulled up. I will say I loved the start of this book. The first couple pages for me, or the first like half to 3/4, I thought were excellent, and then it took a twist that I wasn't expecting. While reading it, but
yeah, and it was funny. The opening of this, I was like, why does this look so familiar? And then I just thought, I was like, oh, that's right, the Wanted film. Also,
oh yeah.
If anyone's remember seeing the Wanted film with James McAvoy, it performs a murder on top of a moving train, someone in an office. Like, how about that?
I didn't even think about that. So yeah, no, you're right. But yeah, we get this introduction to this character here that's an assassin who may or may not have abilities, and he is like, we're just seeing him clean up like all over the US, just everywhere. And then we kind of learn that part of his specialty is to make it look like these people weren't murdered, but they chose to take their own
lives. Yeah. And but then we discover why he's doing this. Eventually, why he's doing it. Yeah.
Right. But yeah, so we kind of keep going, and you get the details of why. But before we get the details, I love this part too. Like Huck is trying to track him down, and that's kind of like Huck's thing, is finding people. But he's like, he screams stop here, and he's like, I can hear him. I know he's somewhere within like 10 blocks. I just need to be still because it's so loud in the city. And this kind of took me back to Superman, and like when Superman first goes to Metropolis from Smallville, and he's trying to adjust. But yeah, we end up getting a badass scene when Huck finally comes into contact with this guy, and we'll talk about this in a second. But yeah, just out of nowhere, just knocking him out the window. And then they go down and he just starts knocking the shit out of him. So it's like, hell yeah.
And you know what? Hey, you know what? Huck's letting out some frustration, especially frustration
Yeah.
from the first issue.
Right. With that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the
With that
dime bag whore. Yeah.
chick. Yeah. Bros before hoes, man. Bros before hoes. But yeah, Huck's got the upper hand until he realizes this guy also has abilities. He can create force fields, and he puts one around Huck, and he's pretty much just suffocating him
Mhm.
until Huck's mother steps in. So this is for me. I thought this was a really good introduction to the story. Like I was reading through it, anger. Um, but we learn kind of why this guy is killing people, and it's because of his uncle. And there's some really kind of weird, darker twists there that come into
Mhm.
play, and took the actual issue for me in a different direction than I thought it was going to go. Like I feel like up to this point, you have a certain idea, and when you get the twist, you're like, oh, okay, shit, didn't see that coming, and then you get I guess a cliffhanger reveal, if you want to call it that, at the end that's supposed to make you go, oh,
Yeah, it's like, wait, what?
yeah. So I'll just say if you're reading parts of the first issue and you're like, why exactly are we reading this? I don't get it. It makes way more sense coming into this or by the end of this issue. So no, I thought this was a lot of fun. I think it's great. I think it's the better of the Miller books, the two Miller books that came out this month for sure.
Yeah,
Easy.
absolutely.
And if you're not reading Huck, excuse me, if you're not reading Huck, you should be reading it. I love him as a character. For me, he's got the same thing as Superman and Captain America, where he's just such an earnestly good guy that
Yeah.
you can't help but like him. So,
Oh, Josh, you muted. Nope.
okay, can you hear me now?
Yes. Good.
It's my freaking internet. What? I salty. You'll have to let me know if the sun's still causing issues. Because if so, then f that sun, man. F that sun.
That information superhighway.
Information superhighway. But yeah, I loved this. I would say drop it in the bag. I'm gonna assume you agree with that, correct?
I concur.
Awesome. Let's look. I'm trying to see. I don't think any of these others are.
So there were some others I read and tried reading. I read Predator versus Spider-Man. That was another one. Boring as shit.
Yep.
Incredibly boring. And look, okay, I'm going to say this now. Look, okay, Benjamin Percy, I respect him as a writer. However, one thing I've learned from his writing is that I'm speaking bluntly when I say this. He blows his load in the first issue.
Always.
I mean, and after that, it's just he's got nothing left, and it's just like you gave us your money shot in the first issue, and nothing to come up since then. Nothing that can meet that excitement. Nothing to meet that level that you gave us. It's just all right. You wore yourself out. What the hell? And that's what is going on with this Spider-Man versus Predator series. I know there are people who like it. I don't know why, but it's.
I love it. I don't know why. Yeah, I feel like I've been burned so many times that I don't know. I wasn't expecting much from it to begin with, and then throw Ben Percy on it, and I'm like, eh. He's just never, as far as he's never done it for me.
No,
I've
he's got no follow through.
No. He did like a 2-issue story in Detective Comics in the New 52, and I thought he had a ton of promise based on that. He's never even gotten close to matching that. So I was like, what the hell? But yeah. Poop. Real quick before we pull up another book, Zax is coming in going, Josh, you should watch Ironheart. I've already started. Ooh. I've watched the first 2 episodes, and Jesus Christ, is it bad? I've got a lot of people going, oh, this is by far the worst Marvel thing Marvel's ever done. And I'm like, yo, I don't know, man, because Secret Invasion is still out there. And it's bad. This is just bad on a different level. Like it's the actors are so low energy and I was like, man, their energy here in acting reminds me of their energy when they're just walking.
Well, and not just that. I mean, they've shown the problem with the character. She's not a
Yeah,
hero
at
at all.
all, at
Period.
all. Yeah. Gary did. If you haven't watched Nerdrotic's video, he actually did a really funny video that's honestly completely fair and accurate. I know some people, you either love Gary or you hate him, but it was one of my favorite videos that I think he's ever done, because Jesus, did he make a point to be like, he
And
just
Dante at
showed
Verbal Riot. Dante at Verbal
Yeah.
Riot. He did a great job too. I watched his.
It just shows you how unlikable she is as a character, and you're
Yeah.
like, yep, completely agree. So, and salty, it's just my shitty internet. I didn't have these problems for a while. In the past 2 weeks in particular, they've popped up. So, we'll try to keep an eye on it. Yeah. And then Ezekiel coming in, Ironheart was rough. Riri is not a hero. No. My friend Brandon BD, he got to watch the entire series before it released, and his comments were, I liked the comic book better than the TV show, and I did not like the comic book. And I was like, oh, damn, that's bad. And then the only thing he said that was positive was he said the final episode is actually really good, but everything else just feels like yeah.
That's what they talked about on Film Threat. That's what they're and said that Sacha Baron Cohen does a good job.
Yeah.
Oh crap! Did I spoil it?
Well, I mean, look, if we want to be fair, we announced this like 2 years ago on this channel that he had gotten the part before anyone was talking about it. So it's out there, it's news, like whatever. Mm-hmm. But yes, Mephisto is actually in this series when everyone thought he was going to be in WandaVision and then wasn't. Oh man, I love it. Oh, hold on, let's see. Zach's put Riri has that exaggerated swagger of someone with an unearned power. Yeah, some of the stuff I want to say I can't say on stream, so I'm just gonna keep going. but Zeke but people will say it's character development. Oh God, yeah. Look, and a lot of people were losing their shit about the drag queen Shea Coulee being in this, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna give Shea a chance. I'm not gonna hate. I don't understand the point of writing a drag queen into a show that looks like it's kind of targeted for kids.
How can you type when you have nail? It doesn't make any sense when you got nails like that. I don't.
I mean, look, I know plenty of people that do a lot of stuff that I don't know how they do it with incredibly long nails. Mainly, like, I don't know how they wipe their butt without getting shit all on their nails. But anyways, Shea Coulee cannot act. So I don't know what was going on there. But it's rough. The whole thing is rough, and I'm only 2 episodes in. We'll just say I'm just gonna get drunk when I keep watching them. Yeah. But anyway, let's go ahead and get to another book that I thought was pretty darn good this week, and we're gonna go with Green Lantern. So, Drewski, while I'm pulling this up, I will let you take it away.
All right, what are we looking at?
Green Lantern.
Okay, yes. So, there we go. Yeah, so this that cover's a lie. I do not like that cover. If there's one thing I hate, it's just a cover that sells you on something that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
But yeah, this was. It's not a great issue. It's a good issue. It's a really good issue. It's just it wasn't what I expected.
Fair, especially coming out of the last issue.
Yes. So Hal and Star Sapphire are here, and he says like, "Hey, let's go get a lunch in where Hong Kong, China? I forget. Saigon. Ding dong. I forget. Anyway, they said they got to go check out a prison for something, and all right, I guess we'll go do dinner. If that takes too long, then we got our heroes here, who in the starship, and they go to it's like a Green Lantern outpost and get an old Green Lantern outpost.
Yeah,
and
that's what I took it as.
Yeah, so there's a signal going on there, and there's a power source in there that's hidden, that's surging, and but there may be something protecting it. But so they get to this prison. But what's odd about this prison is that everyone seems very happy.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone is very, very happy, and it's very off-putting. So initially, Josh, I had thought that it was going to be the Psycho Pirate. I thought the Psycho Pirate had manipulated the prison, but no. It turns out there is this alien source. I don't this alien thing. I'm not familiar with this alien, Josh.
I'm not either. Yeah.
Yeah. So all we know is that it's been able to make everyone overly happy, including this mad scientist who's been dissecting dead bodies, dead bodies in the prison. But I guess when they want to take him away, that's when things get a little ugly. But before we get to that part, like the little guy's waving. So
I can't remember what it reminds me of one of those like underwater creatures, but I can't think of what it is. So I think maybe some type of newt, maybe, I don't know. Anyways, carry on.
Yeah. So we're back in deep space. They discover the power source. It's like a massive power source. It's calling to Kyle. Kyle's just like, we got to do something about this. We got to try to get it free. But then we discovered the Manhunters have been keeping it secure. And I'm like, oh shit, the Manhunters. Fuck yes. But unfortunately, this is where I was kind of disappointed. We cut away from this.
Yeah.
To go back to the happy joy stuff in the prison.
Yeah, I feel like I feel like they should have just kept going with this throughout the book and then ended with the Manhunters as the cliffhanger type of thing. Because you got quite a few pages here of this, which is fine. Yeah. But it's like when you do a reveal like this, and also that's a great. This page almost looks like it could be a cover. Like honestly,
that should have been the cover. That should have been the
cover. When you see this and you're like, oh shit, it's about to get real, and you go back to this for quite a few pages, it's just not as interesting. Oh, poor little guy getting.
They were testing on it, but they discovered it was exuding this happy power from it, and the thing is like, you're take him away from me. He's mine.
He's mine. It's mine, my precious. You know that reference now, Drew, because you stayed away from the movie.
And funnily enough, this Sunday I'm going to go see Return of the King in theater.
Wow.
So yeah.
See what happens when you're whipped, Drew. No, I'm kidding. Are you going with your girlfriend?
No, I'm going with a friend of mine. Yeah, but
gotcha.
So 3 hours of my life I'll never get back. But yeah, so we got our heroes here going just tearing through the Manhunters.
Yep.
But there's a lot of them naturally.
Yeah. The art's really good here too.
I think it's Harmonico on the art. Yeah, killed it. And I got Silver Scarab kicking ass, Superboy, and then but we see the power gets out, but then it forms itself as Aya. Now so I had no clue who this character was because I never saw the Green Lantern animated series. And
I didn't either. So
so apparently she is from the Green Lantern animated series, and I was like, wow, deep cut. So cool. All right, we got another character.
I know there are a lot of people that love, because that's the one. Isn't that the series that like Nathan Fillion was doing the voice for a while or something? Or is this like an old? Okay. Yeah. I know there are people that are super fond of that series, but yeah. For me, I was like, oh, I don't know who this is.
Yeah, same. I'm just like, awesome. Who? Okay.
At least you had the wherewithal to look it up. I was like, but I don't have the biggest extensive knowledge of the Green Lantern lore in general. There's a lot of it.
Because I know when Jeremy Adams shows a character, I'm like, there's got to be more to this character. This character is from somewhere. And so, yeah, here we go. He's doing some Green Lantern deep pulls, and that's cool.
Indeed. But yeah, I'll agree with you. Not great. Still quite good. I should have been chomping on ice. My bad. What I will say is one thing Jeremy, and even though I didn't think it was perfect here, one thing Jeremy does really well with this book is balancing the two storylines within 20 pages. Like he does enough to, you still get character moments, you still get nice touches, but you still get a lot of plot progression and moving the story forward. and that's not an easy task. So
No.
kudos to him, and I think he's doing a great job. And I'm still loving everything that's going on with this book and just where it's going. And I hope he just continues to get many issues. So, but
Likewise.
yeah, again, not great, still really good. I definitely say drop it in your bag because it's worth it.
Same.
Sweet. And let's look to another book real quick that I thought. Well, actually, I'm behind, so I didn't read this. But did you read Superman this week?
I did. I did read
Was it
Superman this week.
good or not so good? Uh-oh.
It was good. I'll
Okay.
say that. It's another case where you have Eddie Barrows doing art for a good chunk of pages, and then you have some random artist coming in who looks nothing like his art style afterwards.
Yeah.
It's just like, this is so damn jarring that I need to reach out to Eddie Barrows and be like, dude, why are you not doing the full issue? Because
Right.
I don't get it at this point.
Who knows? Who knows? So what happens in this issue? Let us, since I can't really speak to it.
A couple things. Luthor leaves town. Superman gets cured from the red K stuff, thanks to Marilyn Moonlight, whom I honestly, why couldn't you have made it Dr. Light? Why couldn't you have just made it the female Dr. Light? That's just my opinion. You don't need this Lane character. So yeah, that's what happens. He gets cured. Lex Luthor goes into hiding. Lois is back at Planet as the editor. Luthor Corp is back. The Super Corps is gone. Mercy is running Luthor Corp, and at the very end, we get teased again with the Dark Legion from the future, and how they're trying to change things with the Time Trapper and everything. So yeah, there's some good stuff going on here, and there's some solid art. It's a shame is that you have solid art, and then it just cuts away to this other artist. It's just like, dude, why?
Yeah, I'm trying to get down to. Oh, yep, right there.
Boom. Yeah, see, it's completely different.
Yeah. Like you can tell just by looking at Clark's face right here. It's just like, oh, it looks like you just got punched in the face. Yeah. Oh man.
Then it goes back to Eddie Barrows again. I don't get it.
Weird. That is weird. That's super random. It makes me wonder if there were like changes that needed to be made to the page, so they just got someone else. So I don't know. I don't know what happened. But yeah, I mean, like even here you can tell it's just this is super awkward. I've said this before. I don't mind if you need to have a fill-in artist, but do it in a way that makes sense. And this does not make sense, and it makes it feel super obvious. What a booster! I think this is this. I mean, look, clearly not reading it, just skimming through it. This looks like it's a fun story with a fun setup that's gonna go somewhere pretty action-packed and bombastic. So I just gotta keep reading and get caught up.
Yeah, so this is another one I'm going to recommend this. It's a weaker recommend, but I'll recommend it.
Nice.
Because of that jarring art change.
Oh, yeah. That's the... Yeah. I mean, that's the... they always got to ruin it with some crazy art changes.
Yeah.
So right out of the gate, quite a few good stories to discuss. So Superman, Green Lantern, Huck, all... solid efforts. So yeah, we're gonna give these guys a little bit of this.
Genuine ostrich. 3 payments. Oh.
I do want to backtrack for a second to talk about a DC book that I'm not going to say is a good book, but I'm happy we have it, if that makes any sense.
Don't say
not even.
No, it's not. Oh, wait, I was gonna say they're gonna say don't say Jeff the Land Shark or whatever it is.
No. I'm gonna say the new history of the DC universe, but Let me. Did you read this or no?
No.
Okay, so
I read the article on it.
Yeah, you're not really missing anything. There's not really anything to gain.
It sounds like the one big change I guess you would notice it if you had read Doomsday Clock and Dark Knight's Death Metal, because that was when Scott Snyder had tried to push to make Wonder Woman the first superhero ever in
Yeah.
the history of mankind. That got changed. That got nixed in this.
Yes.
Thank God.
Yeah. So as far as like, is this an entertaining read? No. But if you're someone that values continuity and having structure and having history and a timeline to tell and build your stories on and from, then you're going to be really happy this exists. Now, whether DC decides to actually, honor this is going to be the questionable thing. But he really goes back to like the beginning of time and creation and starts kind of listing like this is how it is with these characters. And it reads like a textbook. So again, not fun. I'm just happy this is here for the sake
of Trey Ordway art. Come on.
Yeah. So it's nice, look, Manhunters, especially with them coming up in Green Lantern, like it's just nice to have this foundation because we've had so many retcons and reboots and soft boots and alterations and everything else that I think a lot of times when reading DC, you're kind of like, I don't really know what the history is right now. So he really kind of goes through the creation of these universes, and then you eventually get to Earth, and then the story through Earth, and you start seeing characters that you do recognize. Amazon's come into play. You eventually get to like Ra's al Ghul coming into play. So you've got all this stuff. So this book kind of recaps the history of this universe, the DC universe, all the way up into Superman. Kind of.
Yeah, I was gonna say, and it shows the JSA briefly, and that's the other change. They added Amazing Man. To the JSA lineup. It's like, okay,
yeah. But again, so for me, when I think continuity is important, I'm glad that this exists.
Blackhawks. We did not get enough Blackhawks action.
No, there they go. Yeah, right there. Oh yeah. So yeah, for me, I thought this was good. If you're interested in trying to like get a grasp on what they're viewing as the current history or the current lore, this is definitely a book worth reading. If you're coming into this looking for a story, you're not going to get it. And I just hope to God DC sticks to this as the plan. Like, hey, here's our foundation. We're running with it. And I'll be curious to see what the other issues look like or do. So, but yeah, for me, I'm glad it exists, and that's the best way I can put it. And not even from a reader standpoint, but just like make your writers and creative teams honor what's laid out here.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that hard, and it shouldn't be free range like DC's been of like do whatever the beep you want. It doesn't matter. Just tell good stories. Which may have been fine if you were actually telling good stories, but you aren't. You're mostly telling shitty stories. So.
Yeah, and with the good thing, I guess you could say, is that Mark Waid is a DC historian, pretty much. So he's writing this, so he knows what he's doing.
Yeah, agreed. So I know a lot of people, have their issues with Mark Waid. That's perfectly fine. I understand. And then I tell people don't feel like you have to read him or anything. Like if you choose not to, I support that, and I understand why. But yeah, again, I'm happy for the context of what this means for hopefully moving forward with their storytelling and kind of going back to like true form. So yes, sir. Yes, sir. Let's see real quick what else we have here on the docket. Let me go back from page 1. I did pick up Superman the World, but I have not read it yet. But
there's nothing really to read. It's just a cover gallery. It's like the Batman the World, where it's just cover gallery.
Well, never mind then. Let's pull up a little something here that I'm gonna say it wasn't as bad as the others have been. So with that, do you know which book I'm talking about?
It hasn't been as bad as the others have been. Give me, let's see here. I'm going through my Rolodex here.
Think Marvel.
Marvel, okay. I am going to say Uncanny X-Men.
Oh, strike one, but a good guess. And we are discussing X-Men.
Ah.
But think bigger.
Oh, was it the Goblin Queen Havoc issue thing?
No, no. Think giant.
Oh, that. Yeah, giant size Age of Apocalypse. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Look, here's the thing. It wasn't bad. It's just fucking boring.
Yeah.
This book was fucking boring.
That's so I didn't get mad reading this issue like I did the other issues. Like the other issues pissed me off. This didn't piss me off, but it felt like nothing but key jangling because nothing happens. So the entire draw here is, oh look, we have the Age of Apocalypse versions of these characters. Isn't that cool?
Rogue, I remember Rogue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bro, also if Rogue flew through and punched Kamala like this, Home Chick would be dead.
Yes. Down for the count.
And that is an awful looking face. But yeah, I don't know. It's just this book exists and it shouldn't. That's the main thing I can say.
That is a shame. If you're doing that angle, you better make sure you got a good ass. You better make sure you got a great ass. But it's awful.
Yeah, and then just maybe play my humps while you're drawing it or something for some inspiration.
That's a Brie Larson flat ass. Jesus Christ, man.
Yeah, it's
she's got white girl ass. God.
Yeah, they didn't give us what they gave us in the X-Men the animated series from back in the day.
Nope.
that well-known I guess panel steel scene where she's on the ground and Apocalypse is there. Yeah, look, I don't know what the end goal is here for this book. I don't get what the lesson's supposed to be.
We know what it is. We know what it is. It is Kamala Khan validation.
Yep.
And it is making her a part of all of these events.
Mm-hmm.
Make her part of these events and validating her that she's stunning, brave, and amazing. And she's a great mutant and X-Man. She's one of the. It's like you can. If you have to go to these links to validate this character, no, there is a problem. It's not going to work.
Yeah. I don't like what they're doing with this whole like giving her a new power thing either. So unless they're going, unless the point is that it's going to be hard light and they're trying to, connect it to the TV show, but this feels less like
hard light fisting. Oh, wow.
Yeah. So in the Marvel series, and her embiggening powers isn't her necessarily growing. She has almost like a Green Lantern type thing where she can
she's like Green Lantern fisting. So
yeah. Pretty much. Yeah. But I'd rather that than her embiggening powers. But here it almost feels like she's got this untapped power that she still doesn't fully know how strong and powerful she is. Yeah. But
look at this. You have these great heroes sitting around drinking, passed out, talking like idiots. This is your Age of Apocalypse book? Seriously? We're at the halfway point of this book, and nothing has fucking happened. Josh, you're muted.
I'm gonna burn it all. Burn it all. You got this is potentially the most exciting page of the entire comic because it looks like it could be promising you a fun story if this were a cover, but you're not getting this promises.
If the book opened with this, they're like, holy shit, these guys could actually do action. I'm surprised.
Yeah, nope. Interesting moment here where she realizes like she finds herself in this universe. But other than that, like, and then there's a scene where Colossus gets ripped in half, which was brutal, but not brutal because the art's not that great. But yeah, all this to kind of get through this crap, and at the very end, well, one, you had this interrupt the story, and I was like, wait,
they've been doing that every X book this week does that. It's like, why would you do that? You saved that for the fucking end of the book.
Yeah, because for a moment I thought the book was done. I was like, that can't be the end. And then I saw this, I was like, okay, no, it's not. But yeah, you do all this to kind of just end it, like all suddenly end it. Like, all right, we're cool. And then the tease of like, oh, if you thought all this was bad, what's you? Well, and this is where I go. Like, it's almost like they're teasing this untapped power. Like, it feels like they are trying to make her as powerful, if not more powerful, than the Phoenix. And I think that's
Well, and as we all know, Josh, the more powers you give a character, the better they are.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. He's gonna have all the powers. But yeah, like it just abruptly ends, and he's like, "If you think this is bad, wait till I see what I do with the witch," which clearly Scarlet Witch, which has to be House of M. And I'm like, who gives a fuck? So yeah, next.
Yep,
House
there
of
it
M.
is. House of M cover.
Oh, yay, yay!
It's a wet fart.
Aren't you so excited, Drew?
Oh, I'm excited. I'm stoked.
Don't you feel changed by everything that we're learning and reading?
I feel so much better, so enlightened, and just enlightened, just how great and amazing Kamala Khan is, because she's getting more powers, and because all the X-Men throughout history of time are validating her.
Validating.
Amazing.
Oh yeah, so amaze balls. Well, surprisingly, I thought this was gonna have a positive feedback on League of Comic Geeks, because that's what this place is known for, is liking crappy
Shill
stuff.
Central.
Yeah, but it's only a 3.1, so not too shabby. I'm kind of proud. Maybe some people are getting a little based out there.
Good.
Yeah, I mean, look, some 3 stars, 2 stars,
1 star.
2.5.
One and a half. Man.
So I was like, all right, well, then here you go. Oh God, you've always got the one, and this one is Elite Husky. But Elite Husky says, first off, these giant-sized X-Men releases I've read, so many enthusiasts. So my enthusiasm may be lacking in taste or diversity, but I quite liked this Trojan horse style story. Bro, what are you talking about?
What?
Like, I don't know. Yeah. 0 stars there. Good job.
Mm-hmm.
I can't fully read it because the second half's in Spanish, but yeah, I'm glad people aren't just shilling for this shit, because that would make me sad. Really, really sad.
Yeah, it made me question my belief in Christ. Yeah.
Let's kind of head through the comments real quick before we keep looking at some of these books. We have Cannoli Sasquatch that popped in. Hello, everyone. I said I was going to stop buying comics, but I bought the Superman Adventures Compendium and the Batman Full Moon book. Batman Full Moon book is pretty fun, and the Superman Adventures Compendium is also actually, that's a fun book.
That's the best. That's the best pickup you got right there. Yeah, because Mark Miller did a bunch of those stories. Art's terrific, and there was one story in particular. Is an indie creator. I forget what his name is. He told it's a great one-shot story where Superman is on Earth and he sees through this powerful telescope, or like with his X-ray vision or whatever. I forget how, but he sees Krypton exploding in real time, whatever, from Earth. And it's like, oh my God, that's powerful. And there's some great stuff in that Superman Adventures Compendium.
Yeah. Some of these comments are going back to Ironheart. I feel like we're gonna have a lot of Ironheart comments tonight.
Oh God.
But Salty Traveling C put Hoodrat DEI scholarship, C average GPA, criminal sociopath, girl boss, and you just described the show.
Yeah, I mean, look, she was cheating. She was writing, doing tests, homework for students at other schools, not just at MIT, other schools. I'm like, that's cheating. You have every right to get expelled. And apparently, you think just because you have a grant to do something doesn't mean you own that. No, the school owns what you did. So you stole the school's armor, and it's the school suit. And there's a lot of things wrong with this series.
Yep. And then her whole attitude when she's getting expelled of like, oh, why should I be, paying attention in class and doing these projects when I have to explain my work to the teachers? Like, sorry, girl, welcome to reality.
Yeah, it's like, welcome to fucking school.
welcome to school, and then reality check. But when you get in the real world and you start your job, more often than not, your boss is probably going to be a freaking idiot. So get ready. But when going back to Shea Coulee, so talking about how it was not good work, not good acting. Zach's put Matt brought it up last night that Banshee has a great trans character, and he put it can be done. Yeah.
I don't. Okay, so I know the character they're talking about. I thought they were just a cross dresser or like a drag queen. I didn't know they were trans. Were they trans?
I don't know about Banshee. Shea Coulee's character is just a drag queen, as far as I know.
I know the character. I know the character on Banshee they're talking about. I thought they were just like a cross dresser or like a drag queen. I didn't know they were trans.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm not saying that they can't be good. I mean, I've shown clips on here of oh crap, Bianca Del Rio, who I think is a freaking hilarious drag queen. That I mean, I think they're funnier than a shit ton of other comedians out there. So I don't have anything against trans people or drag queens, but I think you should still hire people that are good. And what's weird for me with Shea Coulee is I've seen Shea Coulee do other things, and just natural charisma isn't transferring over into this. So I was like, wow.
Doesn't have the Riz. Doesn't have the Riz.
I mean, and look, I know drag queens. I like Shea Coulee. I thought Shea Coulee would be a safe bet to be entertaining and enjoyable and work, but it just does not work. So, oh well. Yeah, okay, Corey. I said this right before we went live, but he put when it comes to Ironheart, Trump voice, they don't know what the fuck they're doing.
No, they do. I think they do know what they're doing, and what they're selling us. They don't. It's not their belief of what a hero is not what a hero is.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, not at all. Well, I mean, look at the people that we have writing these things. Look at the person they hired to write this new Red Hood series. You know, this person pretty much said that 9/11 was a good thing, and I'm like, bro,
it's a good thing.
Get the beep out of here. So yeah, these people have lost their moral compass. It's crazy.
They have no moral compass.
No, at all. Cannoli Sasquatch is coming in with blacks. I miss holding you. You know what, Cannoli and Zax, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, and I'm still pissed that I didn't get to go. So keep it to yourself. Okay.
Yeah, you missed out, man.
Yeah. Let's see. Yes, the cover was a lie, referring to Green Lantern.
Mm-hmm.
And what else do we have? It just dropped down. We got Valerie. Oh, what's up, Val? Coming in. Hi, guys. I might get that. It kind of reminds me of DC's Who's Who. So I'm assuming you're talking about the history of the DC universe. Again,
kind of. Yeah.
It's not an entertaining read. It's just educational. So it does feel kind of like a textbook more than anything. And it might be something that's worth waiting to just get collected. It's going to be cheaper. So you won't be like, did I really just spend like $4 for this? So, yeah, just keep that in mind. And then Eric Green coming in with Huck was the best book I read this week. And this was a really good week. Yeah, Green, we were kind of saying that there's plenty of good books that we read this week, but nothing that like knocked our socks off. But I did enjoy Huck, especially that first like half to 3/4 of the book. I was like, dang, this is awesome. And what are we talking about here, Salty? What?
I think Salty's talking about that flat white girl ass that Rogue had.
I was like, is he referring to the drag queen? And I was like, I'm learning so much tonight. Oh, Jesus. Okay, good. And then you put not stealing shit and not being accessory to murder as white. Yep. Yeah.
And speaking of white guys, Alden Ehrenreich, whatever his name is, what the fuck happened to him? Jesus,
bro, such a fall from grace. Like he went from having a career that felt like it was blowing up because he did what was the movie with Johnny Depp and I think it was Johnny Depp. Maybe it wasn't
Pirates of the Caribbean.
No, it was like a witchy movie. I don't know.
Dark Shadows.
Oh, maybe it was Dark. Maybe it was Dark Shadows. I might be getting mixed up with something else, but he did that, and then he got cast as Han Solo for the Solo film, and it was like, oh man, his career is about to blow up, and it's done.
Ever
Everything
since
but
Solo,
that, so.
yeah, it just went all downhill.
Speaking of white fragility, Maxwell Von Priestley's in the house. What's up, buddy? I did that on purpose because he hates when people say buddy. But no, Max, what's up, man? Yeah. We were talking about comics, and then we've segued twice into Ironheart and how god awful it is. So you know, Max, I blame you. Yeah, Solo destroyed a lot of careers. But thank God. Yeah, but some of the actors should have had better careers.
There's a meme someone made because we learn in the film that Donald Glover's Lando likes to have sex with robots, and someone made this meme of him like just like banging a robot from behind. It's just like he's got this horrible O face, and it's just like, yeah, that's pretty much right.
Yeah, I will say I'm surprised Donald Glover isn't bigger than he is, but I think he's had a few missteps along the way, and that is the cause for it. Let's get back to our comics real quick. Did you read Spider-Man and Wolverine this week?
I did. That's another one I enjoyed.
I know Wes really liked it.
Yeah, I really did. So the motivations are clear. I love the fucking art. The art in this is fucking insane.
Yeah.
Kerry Andrews, he nails it in this issue. It is completely kinetic. It is balls to the walls action. It is insane. My only grievance is like Spider-Man's fist would have been broken a couple times punching Wolverine in the face.
Oh yeah, indeed. Yeah, I've said this before. You know, I'm not one of those that's as crazy about Kerry Andrews' art as other people. I can appreciate it. It's just, it's not my personal favorite.
It's got that awesome, like that panel you showed. It's got that awesome, like Capcom versus Marvel look to it.
Yeah.
And I love it.
Yeah, I know a lot of people that absolutely love his artwork. Again, I can respect it and appreciate it. It's just not my personal favorite. But I will praise this book for being high action, because that is not something that Marvel gives you much of. And this does a pretty damn good job of it. And I will say, at the very least, I find it fun and entertaining. Like, you know, I mean, I didn't hate it. And I think if you had told me 3 months ago, or asked me 3 months ago, what do you think this Spider-Man Wolverine crossover book, team up book, is going to be like? Oh, I would have told you a piece of shit. So, but it's not.
No, Mark Guggenheim's telling an interesting question mark story.
Yeah.
But I'm here for the action and the art. Oh my god, I love that dislocated jaw. It's fucking great. I love it.
It's got a very Venom-esque type look to it too, but yeah.
Yeah, I love it. Oh man, if you're a kid in the '90s, if you're a kid in the '90s, these panels, these pages would be like cut out, put up on the walls. People would be drawing these over and over again. If you're a kid, this is the art that gets you going.
Oh yeah. So a lot of fun here, a lot of high action. I cannot stress enough how much the action helps make this an enjoyable book, because I'm having fun, and even when the story isn't necessarily the best, I still like it. So, but yeah, Guggenheim is one of those writers for me that I usually expect the worst, and I think that might be playing into some of my thoughts with this.
Yeah, look, anytime, even with Jeff Loeb, I respect Jeff Loeb, but like anytime someone from TV or movies comes into comics, I'm like, I don't know about this.
Yeah.
Because it's completely different pacing, completely different.
Yeah, and this isn't his first time stepping into comics, so maybe he's getting a little bit better. But man, if you look at what he did on Arrow versus here, this almost was like a different person. This shit he had on Arrow when he was running the show was so bad, But yeah, I would say I still think this is worth checking out and picking up and reading.
Same.
Not the top of my list, but it's fun. And I think if we start just naysaying comic books for being fun, then what the hell are we doing here?
No, this comic is fun. Yeah, look. It's gave me what I wanted, and I had a blast.
Where do you think this is going to lead to? This final page.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's like I'm having such a fun time in the ride that I'm not trying to figure it out. I want just as a writer, I want to see Mark write himself out of this, right out of this, write himself out of this corner. I want to see what you got from this.
I think that's a fair assessment. Did you happen to read Ultimate Spider-Man?
I did. Yes.
Okay. So we have Chichetto returning on art. I just had this. Where the beat did it go?
He draws a whole lot of talking heads once again.
Yeah, but it's so pretty. Hold on, I just had this to pull up, and now I've lost it. Give me a second, and I'll pull it up because I feel like we should.
When you show this, when you show the issue, I want to show a panel. I want to show a particular panel.
Okay.
That pretty much is my summary of the series as a whole.
Oh, what Gwen says?
Yes.
Yeah. All right, let's get through. Keep on going through these title pages. I wish that, man, I just wish there was more because Chichetto's art really is that freaking good. Although I hate that he's taking as many breaks as he is, but excuse me. All right, let me see if I can get to. I mean, again, look, you can see it's a lot of talking people. And you know what? I may not mind this as much if Hickman just doesn't do human relationships very well, and I feel that way here. I think there's interesting things going on with the characters. I just need more energy. I need not even testosterone, just something. And right here
in our group text, I sent this panel. Like, this panel summarizes the whole damn series.
Yeah. What we do is talk and then talk some more. Talk. Well, not anymore. Yeah.
Well, Gwen, I'm sorry, but you guys continue to talk.
Yep. More talking. Talky.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And then like when we do get this is the other thing. When we do get action, it's a hell of a lot of fun. It looks fantastic.
That's it. That's it.
So it's one of those things that I don't want to say like this book is bad because I don't think it qualifies as bad. It just feels like it's such a missed opportunity to be excellent, and that can be frustrating as hell.
Yeah.
I don't know, but all of this just looks so good.
Yeah, but if you wanted to call this the ultimate Parkerverse or the ultimate Parker family, perfect. Okay, that's what it is. But if you're selling as a Spider-Man book and Spider-Man is in it for a few pages and he spends most of it talking, and then I'm upset. And if he's only in costume for a couple pages, I'm upset.
Well, and I was gonna say too, I feel like this is probably the most consecutive pages we've had of Spider-Man in these issues.
I would agree. Probably since issue 2 or 3.
Yeah. So again, not awful, but man, I just feel like it's. I know people love this book, so if you love it, I'm not knocking you. I'm just telling you how I feel. For me,
I really feel like the Emperor has no close at this point. We're I forget 16 issues in at this point.
Is that which one we're on? Possibly, I'd have to go back to double check.
Wait, no, 18.
18. Gotcha.
Yeah, we're 18 issues in. Emperor has no clothes. It is clear that Spider-Man is not the focus. It is the Parker family and friends. Yeah. And if you want to call it that, that's fine. Make that the book. Don't call it Spider-Man because this is not about Spider-Man.
Yeah. I will say, like, again, some of the stuff is interesting. I enjoyed these final pages. If I could do one thing different, I would just have a core driving plot with Spider-Man, focusing on Spider-Man with everything else that's going on happening around him. And that's all I'd change. I would just, find a way to add that in, and I think you'd have a banger of a book. But I got to come see what Breen says, because I know Breen's gonna get me if he's still here in the comments. But no, he may not be in the comments. So Salty Traveling Sea put, I'm okay with Donald Glover not being a household name. I like the Donald Glover that was on Community and the comedian and all that, but the whole This Is America, I'm okay without. And then we've got Dean Costarellis in the house. When reviewing a movie or comic, how much do your political and or religious beliefs factor in? I would say to a degree, but not much. Like, I understand there are different books with different things. What's more important to me is that the character be true to who they are. So if a character is meant to be bad or have questionable morals, then I want to see them be bad and have questionable morals. We've gotten in this day and age where you have villains that aren't villainous because they have to be sympathetic, and I think that undermines them. It's one thing if you flesh them out, right, and give them some texture, but there's this shift that all villains have to be sympathetic and have to be kind of more of like an anti-hero than just a villain. And sometimes people are just bad. You've got a lot of you've got a lot of heroes that for me act out of character, especially these days. That's part of the reason I was praising that Mark Waid book, the DC Universe book, because it's really kind of establishing a foundation without going into characters. But if you go back into like 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s with comics, they had what they refer to as Bibles, character Bibles, that really laid the groundwork of this is who this character is, this is what they represent, this is how they react. And you would use that to reference. And for me, all of those, but a lot of writers these days too, they don't feel like writers. I think you can have people that can come up with stories that are okay stories or good stories, but that doesn't make them a good writer. And that comes down to scripting. When you start having dialogue and every character sounds the same and they're speaking with the same cadence, and you have this kind of like modern day Twitter type talk, for me, it doesn't work. Like, the characters should sound different, and a lot of writers don't accomplish that. So hopefully that answers your question. But I mean, there's been plenty. Some of my favorite stuff to read is espionage type stuff, where people are doing just horrendously awful, horrible things that I don't agree with, but it's interesting and it's fun. So, Salty said it's fun and I'm collecting it too. Are you talking about Ultimate Spider-Man, Salty? And Zeke said he's going to be dropping Ultimate Spider-Man. I've gotten to where I'm open to buying the trades to keep reading, but I'm not buying the single issue.
And we learned that they're only going to be 24 issues. So yeah,
we got a lot to there's I don't know if the plan is just for him to end. Oh, Spider-Man and Wolverine, cool, I'm down with either. As far as Ultimate Spider-Man, are they in? So is it just Jonathan Hickman that's ending at 24, or are they ending the book at 24?
It sounds like the whole universe at 24.
Yeah, see, that's wild. Like, there's so much stuff that has to be done, but okay. Weird. That just feels weird, because like you look over and you have Ultimate X-Men, which isn't the X-Men, and it's like, are we? I guess we're not actually. I guess you kind of have Ultimate X-Men and Ultimate Wolverine, but not really, because they're also different. Yeah. So
Ultimate Foe Eating. That's what I call it.
Oh man, yeah. Womp womp. But yeah, look. At this point, I think if you're reading it, I guess stick with it, unless you're just like, nope, I can use that money elsewhere, and then by all means do it. I'll be curious to see how they wrap things up by issue 24, but I'm not gonna hold. This isn't as epic as we all thought it would be, and I think that's a disservice to the. So let's see what else we have over here from books. I guess we could go ahead. Did you read Uncanny X-Men?
I attempted to. Yeah, I got to. So I got about halfway through it. Then I stopped. I checked out. But I read the most important part, where it sounds like they're turning New Orleans, Nolans, into a sanctuary city.
Oh yeah, you got that pretty. Oh, come on now. There we go.
Now, when
Uh,
Dean talks about politics right there, it's like I'm not putting my political beliefs into that. It's right there on the page.
Yeah, well, you've had plenty of writers and comics themselves and
Yeah.
books. They've always kind of juggled politics in a way. But you had a lot of writers that would give balanced takes, and that's what I miss. Like
Telling the truth through a lie. Telling the truth through a lie.
Yeah.
And this is not that. This is
Right.
heavy-handed.
Yeah, and that was going to be my point. It's so heavy-handed and so on the nose that there's nothing here to make you think, and that's why I appreciated having like the balanced approach of we're going to present a valid talking point from this political view take,
Mhm.
and we're also going to present a valid talking point from this political take, and we're going to involve it in our story, and you can determine the pros and cons of both, because that's what I hate about politics now. It's all become all one or all the other, instead of going, look, we understand and we think there's value in these points. However, these are counterpoints to that. And then vice versa. We think there's valid points over here, but here are the counterpoints to that. Two things can be true at the same time. And we try to act like politics, which is a very complex thing, usually isn't a complex thing. And I think we do ourselves a disservice with that. But the art, man, I mean, it's not, look, I'm going to complain about the art, not because it's bad art. The art is perfectly fine.
It's if you're on a plane, if you're on a plane and you're reading the instructions like for what to do when you're crash landing, this is what the art looks like.
Well, I'm thinking of what Salty said, where it's like soulless and lifeless. When we were talking about it, it was Crypto on Tuesday. I get soulless and lifeless here. It doesn't look bad. It looks fine for an indie like slice of life type book. But it goes back to what we were saying the other day. Like when you're dealing with the big two and you're dealing with one of the top superhero books, you're in the big leagues, and it needs to feel like the big leagues. Now this looks solid to me. Like I don't mind this.
Yeah.
But when you look at it's just a very vast difference here. Yeah, this is the end of this arc, and honestly, like I don't know. It feels weird. Like even though this is the end, it almost feels like it never really got going.
Yeah. The other point is like I don't care because I don't care for these characters. I don't like these characters. They're not well-written characters. I mean, we do have Logan, yes. We do have Gambit. We got the Resident Evil knockoff villain there. But for the most part, these new X-Men Grail's trying to sell us on, they're dull, boring, and lame.
Yeah. If they wanted, I'm all for having New Mutants, right? And I think you could involve them in ways. I would
argue against that, Josh, because I would say we've had too many of them. I would say we've had way too many going as far back as Krakoa. They introduced us to way too many New Mutants.
No, I'll look. You've got a point there. I guess my point is, if you're gonna make a New Mutant, sure, okay, cool, whatever. But when you try to shoehorn them as the lead of your comic, I feel like it's just gonna fail. Because what people want, you're not giving them. And instead of building these characters up to potentially be likable or thought, well of, you don't do that. I thought that Grant Morrison did an okay job with that. Like you had your core X-Men and you had some supporting characters that some of them became interesting and he did interesting things with them. And then unfortunately you had other writers take over after that were like, oh, this character's got some heat. And then they just obliterated whatever goodwill was there. I'm looking at you, Quentin Quire. Even Joss Whedon with Armor. I know. Even Joss Whedon with Armor, like Armor was a fine character as a supporting character, and then out of nowhere, it's like, let's tell Armor stories. And I was like, man, if you'd taken another 5 to 10 years, just slowly working that character up, it would have worked much better. I think sometimes we blow our load too quickly and we're too impatient and we try too hard. Not we, but comic writers try too hard to make something work right away. Mm-hmm. What do we think about these dominatrix outfits, though?
They're something.
Yeah, it's given Hellfire Gala with Rihanna singing S&M.
And
But
we got
yeah.
another interruption in the middle of the story with shit.
Whoever's deciding to do this needs to stop.
Stop.
Anyway.
Get help.
I haven't been the biggest fan of this since it started. It just hasn't been working for me. It's still not fully working for me. There are moments in this issue that I thought were good because we actually got some kind of bombastic action, but it's like it took multiple issues of practically nothing to get to that. And like I said, story wise, it almost feels like I kept waiting for the story to happen, and then it happened. So it's almost like this shouldn't have been, what was it, a 4-issue story, 5-issue story for this? I feel like it should have just, you could have easily done what they did here in 2 issues, and it would have been more than enough. So
It's all
but
padding.
yeah, it'll be interesting to see what she does next. Well, I say interesting lightly, but what she does next and where she takes things. It's just bad when you've got multiple people, even people that are X-Men fans, saying that this is worse than the Krakoa era, because we were hoping that would be the lowest of the low. But
Yeah, and there are people. I forget. I read an article. I guess there was something like some kind of particles were changed to where like Pym particle, like Hank Pym had was actually created these particles that were used on Krakoa or whatever, and some psycho Krakoa fanboys were like, "You just took away, taking more and more away from Krakoa for making it special and making it like it didn't exist." Like, that's a good thing. So yeah, it's good.
The real question, Drewski, is what do people over at League of Comic Geeks think? So not fantastic score, but it is the 3.8. Yeah, I mean it's green, I guess. But I even here people are kind of starting to not chill. There is one guy, let me find it. Oh, here we go. Game of Jobs. He put this book is so metal. Marquez is a god. Simone is fantastic and has introduced 4 new characters that she actually makes you care for. By far the best X book going.
Oh my god.
You know, I will agree with you. Marquez's art, fine. I'm good with it. I like Marquez's art. No complaints there. But I can't agree with you on what Simone's doing here with the characters. I think this is on tier with some of Gail Simone's worst works. Yeah, not a fan. But and even saying by far the best X book going on, that's not
a high
right
bar. That's a very, very low bar.
Everything else is, I mean, it falls into bad, if not worse than bad. So
you're like James Cameron at the depths of the ocean trying to raise that bar. It's pretty damn low.
Yeah, but no, I as much as I want to say this is a piece of shit like always, I don't feel like it's a piece of shit. I just think it's just dumpster worthy. So, and mainly because we got some decent action in this book, but still, looking at it collectively, yeah, we're gonna drop it in the bin.
Fair enough. Bullseye.
Make it. Let me see what else we have here. Oh, I want to pull up Hyde Street. We have to talk about Feral as well. So Hyde Street I thought was a lot of fun if I can find it.
Yeah, it was. Our team, you got Ivan Reese, Danny Mickey, a fucking legend going as far back as Image in the 90s, Danny Mickey. Yeah. This book is beautiful, and I had a fun time reading this.
It's beautiful, and if you like horror, like if you're a fan of horror, I feel like you're going to be a huge fan of this issue because it really plays into some horror tropes in fun ways, but also in traditional ways.
Yeah, I love how it opens with the cereal ad. Yeah,
that's what I was going to say. All right, so I got it right here, but yeah, Hyde Street. And you open it up. Cover. Yeah. Oh yeah, it's such a good cover. But yeah, you come in and once it gets going, you've got the cereal ad here. And then you got him eating all these cereals. So same vein as Count Chocula and what is it? The Blueberry
and Frankenberry.
Yeah. So same kind of vein here with these, but So fitting for this character and for this world. And then you keep going on, and he's got his I laughed so hard at this, him shoving the gun in his backpack. And then I laughed again when he pulls it out later.
Fucking rifle. That's it's an
Well,
elephant
then,
gun.
It is. And then when you see it later when he's pulling it out too, it just looks so humorous because he's just like yoink. But yeah, it's a fun setup that's going on here. He finds this guy. He's gonna use him as bait. Oh no, this isn't the bait. He gets someone else's bait. But he sets up his bear trap, and then this little kid is by far like one of my favorite characters because he's so mischievous and so evil, but hilarious.
And you have you have that random guy who just keeps getting. He's like, I went down this way, I got lost, I'm back here, I've been doing circles for the last few days, whatever. But we learn more about the guy. There's a little more to the guy than we thought. There's a reason why he's where he's at.
But yeah, this is just the cheekiness that I love of this character. Like he's screaming, "Let me down!" and he's just got the smirk, pulling the gun out. He's like, louder. So I feel like Jeff Johns is just having a shit ton of fun with this.
And so is Ivan Reis. And you can tell Ivan Reis is having fun. And Danny Mickey is having fun.
Yep. But then we get our Frankenstein here. And this is kind of where I think we eventually learn some things about the character. But it kind of becomes like a monster.
He fires a rifle and love just. Oh
yeah. And he's getting blown away. Oh my god, this is great work. But yeah, you get like a monster fest going on here. So this is where I was like, this is a lot of fun. You're getting the beginning here. You've got more, and it's kind of playing into those traditional monster tropes. Like you got the witch, you got Frankenstein, you got the sea creature slash from Black Lagoon.
This is a Chekhov's horror serial. You introduce them in the first act, you got to bring them back in the third, and here they are.
Right, and then the whole Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde type thing going on. Yep. Just a lot of fun here, but still a good gripping story. And like you said, there's more than meets the eye here. So once you kind of get to the end, you start learning things that you're like, okay. And then even our little guy here, but werewolf. I'm loving this book. I think month after month, it continues to be a lot of fun and gruesome and crazy and out there, but just a blast to read. And it's nice to have a book that you genuinely like. You don't know what's going to happen. They're doing so much batshit crazy bonkers stuff that every time you come in, you're like, all right, I know I'm going to get something fun that I didn't expect. So,
not just that, but it's going to be a beautiful looking book. I mean, granted, there's been a couple fill-in issues here and there, but even then, in the fill-ins, it had solid art.
Yeah,
but,
go ahead.
At its best, you're going to have Ivan Reis and Danny Mickey on the art, and it looks gorgeous.
I was just going to say with the fill-in artists, even with the fill-in artists, like we've been fans of the art, and our comment, if we had a negative comment or a nitpick, it was just like, man, we wish Ivan would have still been on the art. And that's just a testament to how good Ivan is. And I've been to comment that in a lot of ways, I think this is the best work Ivan's done in years and might even be the best work he's done ever. Like he's just having so much fun with this.
It's I will say that it's at least his best work since Aquaman on New 52.
Yeah. Just it's freaking fantastic.
So that's going back, 15 years ago? 14 years ago?
Aquaman would have been 2012 with New 52 launching. So
yeah,
I mean, 13
solid
years.
decade at least.
Yeah. But yeah. Also, we say things like that, and then I think back to like how art like this that was this good used to be standard.
It was standard across the board. It was expected.
Yeah. So man, we only thought the times were gonna get better. We didn't realize this was the good old days. But yeah, this, like a lot of the Ghost Machine books, I'm just having a blast with. It's different. It feels fresh. Even when it's familiar, it feels fresh. So.
And apparently, I didn't realize this, but at Comics Pro, they announced the Brad Meltzer book is coming out later this year.
Oh,
So
okay. So
yeah,
yeah,
the first the White House Ghost, the first Ghost, or whatever the hell it's called. Yeah, it's gonna be later this year.
gotcha. Um, I think the last book we're gonna try to look at is Feral.
Oh
So let me
yeah,
get that pulled up,
yeah.
and I gotta find it too. I was trying to keep all this shit together, but it failed miserably. Um, Feral, as always, consistently a good read. And I always kind of talk about how it's the one thing that my comic book group with the through the shop,
Mm-hmm.
our comic book club, it's the one thing that everyone is reading. So it's one of those that like don't judge a book by its cover because you're getting so much good stuff here.
Yeah.
Let me. Sorry, I can't multitask. Let me find this. If you want to go ahead and take it away, I'll get it pulled up once I find it.
Yeah, sure. So our cats, they've made it into the pet store, more or less, and they have run into cats there that have always lived there. They've never left. They were born there. They left. This is the whole world that they know, and you can tell that they're very awkward when
Yeah.
it comes to talking, when it comes to welcoming new cats. But you can tell they've got it. They've got their routines down, and especially when it comes to new pets, new cats, they've got things that they're expected of them, and each cat is expected to have a job or a task to do in this store. And some raise questions, some just don't go along with it. Some are like, something's not right here, something's a little off. And even when it comes to the food, granted, they've got wet food, they got dry food. It's like, oh my god! But I think it's Lucky. He's like, this doesn't taste right. And
Right.
but then we see like the mother cat or whatever, the cat that's in charge of it all, and it's just like,
Is it Gigi? Right.
yeah, it's like, whoa, that
Yeah.
cat. That's a Marlon Brando, Lizzo cat. Jesus.
Oh no, I was thinking. Okay, yeah. So they don't have this online yet to flip through. But yeah, what I was gonna say that I like about this is I like that they kind of keep presenting real life scenarios in an interesting way. So you had the like crazy cat lady that was kind of like the
The
hoarder.
hoarder. Yeah, no,
Yeah,
not kind of. She was a hoarder.
yeah, you know, but you get that kind of like social commentary there through that arc, and then now you're coming into this with these cats that have never known anything. Like they've grown up with this such a narrow viewpoint on life that this is all they've ever known, and then our cats are like something's not right. Like
Yeah.
there's something off. But yeah, I would say Tony and Trish are continuing to kill it. And this is another one that I think works because you're always waiting to see what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And they're always kind of delivering, even if it feels like it's starting to slow down. Usually, like either by the end of that issue or the next issue, they do something that's just bonkers. You're like, all right, I am fully engaged again.
Something that builds the suspense and mystery that calls back to like Stray Dogs, where it's just like you're unsettled. You're just like, you're waiting for the other shoe to drop. You're just wondering what's going to happen next.
Yes. And it's that we've talked about this before too. It's the juxtaposition of the art. You've got this like Disney cartoonish, sweet looking art and just
art style, yeah.
Yeah, and then awful awful things going on. But look, anytime you can have fellows that aren't cat people like you and I loving a book, I feel like that says something.
Yeah, it's a win. I
Yeah.
told Trish every time, and she knows I hate cats, and I love this series.
People don't know, but that's actually how you start every conversation with Trish. You just go, "Hey, Trish." She's like, "Hey," and you're like, "I hate cats."
I hate cats. Yeah.
Anyway, I was gonna say, but yeah, I love it. I think we're gonna start wrapping up, unless there's something else you can think of that we did not cover.
Let me go through my Rolodex on League of Comic Geeks. Let's see, because I've flipped through a lot of stuff this week.
I will say I'm not gonna pull it up, but Absolute Wonder Woman. This makes me so mad that we didn't have. Was it Mateo?
Yeah.
Was the whole thing with the centaur? Not a centaur. Is it a centaur?
Minotaur.
Minotaur. There we go. Sorry. Oof. I wanted his art on that so bad. So bad. Like it would have looked badass.
Yes.
And this issue had some decent like witchcraft stuff that I thought we would have had imbued like it is here throughout the entire run. And I enjoyed that, but other than that,
All right. So I tried reading Absolute Martian Manhunter. It was boring.
Yeah.
Fantastic Four. You want to talk about fucking boring? Definition of it. That was boring as shit.
I didn't bother with it.
Green Arrow was just a head scratcher. Let's see here. Predator versus Spider-Man, boring as shit.
Yeah, real quick on Fantastic Four though, Drew. It's got a 4.6 rating for this issue on League of Comic Geeks.
Hey, you know what? Good for Ryan North. He's got all the glue sniffers on his side, and they love being spoon-fed their shit. And hey, there you go.
Glue sniffers, come on, Drew. They eat it too. Okay.
I'm sorry, the paint chip eaters. What else did I read? That wasn't dazzling. We didn't. Wolverine and Kitty Pryde. You know, that's you want to talk about a book I should be recommending, but the art is god awful in that.
The art takes me out of that story so bad.
Yeah.
Like I stopped trying because I couldn't get past the art. I didn't bother with the Thing because I did not like the first issue, so I didn't even try with this issue.
Oh, I did read VR Troopers. I tried reading VR Troopers #1 because for one thing, it's from Boom.
Okay.
Because I grew up, I watched VR Troopers. I remember watching that show when I was a kid, and I'm thinking, oh great, maybe this would be like one of the other 80s or 90s properties. They bring it back. There would be a great jumping on point. No. So it is directly tied into the ongoing Mighty Morphin Power Rangers series. So if you have not been reading Power Rangers, you're going to be fucking lost, because I'm reading it. I'm like, I have no idea what the hell is going on here, and it is not a good jumping on point at all if you're going in blind.
Oh yeah, I didn't realize it was connected to the Power Rangers.
Yeah.
Was it a Saban, whatever it was called?
Saban property? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting. The art doesn't look awful. I mean,
no, it's not awful.
Oh, but yeah, Angel Grove, Water and Power. Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
but it ties directly into the events going on in Power Rangers in the city. It's just like, oh god.
I've heard a lot of people say a lot of positive things about the Power Rangers books, but I feel like I'm so far behind that
I will say this. Years, because they've done the collections of them, you know, like year 1, 2, 3, and 4. I will say years 1 through 3, I think years 1 through 3 by Kyle Higgins, Ryan Parrott.
Yep.
They're terrific. Great damn reads. Amazing.
Yeah.
But after that, when this Marguerite Scott, or whatever the hell her name is, got on board, and you started having Cena Grace do issues and Marguerite Bennett, I'm like, no, this is where the quality started dipping. This is where the quality went down. Because she took over Power Rangers after Ryan Parrott. Quality went down. She's taking over VR Troopers, and it's like, okay, if I haven't been reading Power Rangers, I'm fucking lost. But yeah, they were good at one point.
I didn't realize. So Margaret Scott, I didn't realize she was writing. I've read stuff of hers that I've really liked, and I've read stuff of hers that I was like, man, I don't know, that just didn't hit like I thought it was based on the previous stuff that I read. And in some of those instances, it was DC stuff, and I got to ask her because she was writing Batgirl for a little while, and I got to ask her.
Did she do that infamous Batman 50 issue with it was like the last issue where they brought in the Batgirl from the TV series, and she was out there with Antifa on the streets.
No. That was Cecil Castellucci.
Oh, her.
So Margaret Scott came in right after Hope Larson, and she wanted to take Batgirl more in the direction of kind of how she was in the New 52, not the whole Batgirl of Burnside route. and they were gonna do that, and then she was forced to go right back into that Burnside type stuff, and I was like, oh. So, but yeah, I don't know. Yeah, interesting. I didn't pick this up, but I don't know. I think the problem they're going to have here is exactly what you're describing. Your issue with it is that people are going to recognize the franchise, the brand, and come into it, and then the fact that it's so tightly connected to everything going on in Power Rangers, it's going to immediately turn them off to it. So, but yeah. Was there anything else, Drewski, that you wanted to bring up?
No, I think we talked about it all. Everything else is just boring as shit, or recommended it, or yeah. That was it.
Well, I have been neglecting the comments, so let me come over here and look at this. We do have Zach's coming in with 13 months of membership. Not a cat person yet. I have 2 cats now. Well, life has funny ways of working out like that, so I understand. I would be way too nervous to have a cat because I've got way too many breakable things, and I would, I would lose my shit if it broke some of the stuff. But for the 13 months of membership, thank you so much, and I'm gonna give you this.
Who wants to hang out in a blanket fort with grown men in tiny underoos? Hello.
Hello. Speaking of Ironheart, gosh. Anyways, let me go back to the regular comments real quick. Zax is asking, was Wolverine and Kitty a remake?
No, it's one of Chris Claremont's like in between stories.
Yeah, he's got stories that he's telling that like take place in between his original run. So it's like, oh, this story took place between this issue and this issue. And it's stuff that sometimes was referenced but never fully told, so he's just fleshing it out. And usually they're fine, like story-wise they're fine, like they're worth, picking up and reading. I'm not going to say, he knocks out of the park with them. But man, the art in this one is just so freaking bad.
Yes, like we're talking like faces that are missing mouths and noses. And it's not like they're in the far background. They're relatively in the foreground to middle ground, and they're missing facial structures. It's like
it's like a blob. Just
like, was this a fucking rush job, or was this just the cheapest artist they could get, or what? This is ridiculous.
Yeah, here I can pull up an issue real quick just for reference, so we're not just talking about it. We can see it as well. But
so they can see like we're not exaggerating. This isn't hyperbole. Yeah. This is legit on the page.
But yeah, we'll come on down here. Load. Hello. Look, even this is not great, and it's a full page spread.
Yeah.
But yeah, and especially when you start getting full body shots of Kitty, like it just doesn't. It doesn't look like Kitty. It looks like a boy. So the art is rough.
And what pisses me off the most about it is that this is Claremont.
Yeah.
This is Chris Claremont, who made the X-Men. He should be the one getting Dan Mora. He should be the one getting Clay Mann, Daniel Samper. He should be getting all these top talent artists, not this Joker.
Yeah. I mean, the problem is they're probably paying so much for Chris Claremont that they have to go as cheap as possible.
Yeah.
The artists.
Yeah.
But, yeah. I mean, I don't know. Kitty kills me here. But yeah, I wouldn't say it's as bad as Narwhal's art, but it's still really freaking bad. Yeah, at least here you can pretty much tell what's going on. Over there you couldn't. So, but no, it's just such a letdown for. And Drew's right. It's a letdown for what he should be getting, just based on his history and tenure. So, Salty put that Wolverine looked like Jack Lemmon and Grumpy Old. Yeah. And then he put the color choices and saturation aren't helping the book either. No, not at all.
No.
Yes, sir.
Little segue. I just bought that Superman Adventures Compendium. I'm like,
hell yeah.
I didn't realize that came out. So I'm like, all right,
I
I'm
didn't
buying
either.
that. I've got a bunch of the compendiums. So
Yep.
I just bought that one.
They're good price. I mean, like
Uh,
if your goal is to really just read it, then absolutely, it's such a good
Bruh.
price.
Bruh. This has 900 plus pages. Guess
Yeah.
how much I just bought it for on Amazon?
How much?
$46.
See, I started to say like 50, and I was like, no, that's way too low. Yeah, because I think even the Robin one was around $50. The Tim Drake Robin compendium was like $50.
Yeah, I've got the Lobo, I've got the JSA, I've got the Sandman,
Yeah.
Robin, Green Lantern, and now I got Superman Adventures. Yeah, these are great prices for what you get. It's every bang for your buck.
Like I'm holding out on some of these things because I feel confident at some point they're gonna do an omnibus for some of these books. So like they've had the Nightwing, the 90s Nightwing compendiums that had
They
two
just
come
released
out.
a new volume, another volume of compendium.
And I'm like, ooh, I want that so bad, but I feel like you're gonna do an omnibus, and I know if you do an omnibus, I'm gonna buy the omnibus for sure. So I'm like, I can always get these later if I need to. My shop has plenty. So I'm just crossing my fingers and holding out, but we'll see. Yeah. But with that said, I think we're gonna start wrapping up tonight. So Drewski, if there's anything you want to share with the folks, let's go ahead and share it.
Yeah. So Unholy Nightmare, guys. This campaign ends next Sunday. 8:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're gonna have a closeout stream on Wes's channel on Thinking Critical. Aaron Sparrow, me, most likely Josh, hopefully, and a few of some of the artists will be on board. But we've already exceeded our goal, which is fantastic. But we want to be able to make more, so that we can be able to produce more of the upcoming issues, more covers, more commission exclusives, and stuff like that. So if you've backed it, thank you. We're incredibly grateful. But if you could tell your friends, have your friends tell their friends, tell your friends to go to their comic book shops, tell them to check it out, tell them to back it. Because they will not be disappointed in any way, shape, or form, whether it's with Unholy Nightmare or the Golem 10-pager written by myself and Aaron Sparrow.
Yep. And then also, if you didn't get to read Unholy Nightmare #1, there are options there to get the first issue within the campaign, so you can catch up and read it. And I'm gonna always sing the praises of that Golem backup story. I love the story, but I also really love the work that Vudon brings to the table, and I like that throwback comics art kind of feel, and even how Drew wrote the story and structured the story to kind of reminisce to EC Comics days. Like it just feels special, and I can't say that enough.
And it's not the last one we're doing. We've got another one with another character coming up. We just got the first page in. It looks gorgeous.
Boom.
So, oh man, I'm so excited.
Do it. So go back at I've reposted the link in the comments. It's also pinned in the comments, and I will reshare it on Twitter as well. But Drew, other than Unholy Nightmare, if people want to follow you, where can they find you?
You can find me on Facebook, Dolan Waddick, and you can find me on Instagram, Dolan_Waddick. And hey, all I'm doing is I'm posting my work. That's all I post.
Hell yeah. Real quick, before I tell you where you can find me, Zach's put, I remember the 6-issue Kitty Pryde and Wolverine from the 80s. That was a fun story. So yeah. But if you want to find me, you can find me at Joshua L. McDonald on X. For the channel, you can find at By Popped. Of course, we are here every Tuesday with rotating shows. Thursdays, we will always do Floppy Drop talking about the current week's new releases. And then Sundays, we're going to start having member content. So if you're a member of the channel, thank you so much. I appreciate the support. Whatever money I get from this goes right back into the channel. Subscriptions are not cheap, but so it goes into that. But we're going to start having member content coming out. So we'll have Pop Talk starting on Sundays. So if you are a member and you're going to come hang out with me, just let me know stuff you want to talk about. I'm also going to start sharing different work that I've done. I've got pitches that were submitted through DC back when they were having their writer classes that they were doing, because I got sponsored to do it and then didn't get picked. I wonder why. Scott Snyder was running the thing, so I wonder why. But no, it was actually Crap, now I can't think of names. We just talked about him because he did Power Rangers, but he was writing Nightwing at the time.
Oh, Kyle Higgins.
Yes. I was wanting to say Ryan. Kyle Higgins actually recommended me at one point because he was sending me scripts when he was doing Nightwing by the time they got into the second arc, and the other person was ironically Steve Orlando. So, what do you know? But he was doing Midnighter, and I was very nice to that book. But anyways, we appreciate you guys coming to hang out. You know what, Salty? You're probably right. I wasn't gay enough. That's
Yeah, because I mean, look, they had what's his no nuts? The guy that Richard Meyer had a hard on for.
Mags.
Yep.
Oh yeah. Yep. Vita was also, I think, in one of the.
Yes, she was.
Groups. Yeah.
Yep.
So, they're picking winners. So honestly, I think the only people that came out of those that were I think the very first group had some decent people. But I think other than that, I don't really think any of the writers came from the second or third wave that really did anything worthwhile or noteworthy. And then some artists kind of came out of there that were like, okay. But yeah, wasn't as successful as I thought it was going to be. Anyway, thank you guys for tuning in. I really appreciate it. We will be back next week. I got to figure out what we're doing for Tuesday because I've been off cadence. We got Nadia coming in, but hello, Nadia.
Hello.
Hello. Yes, you're coming in as we're saying goodbye. We are ships passing in the night. But again, thank you guys. It's always fun talking comic books and being nerdy with y'all. It's always fun, dropping some floppies. And until next time, keep it popping. Bye.